World Welterweight Championship against the #1 ranked contender, a man by the name of Elio Diaz, who comes from Venezuela. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Al Michaels. This one is scheduled for 15 rounds. The papers here have been talking about how apathetic everybody is about Donald Curry in his hometown. Very few tickets were sold, but they've had a good walk-up sale today. About 5,000 people are looking on in the Will Rogers Coliseum, and the din was absolutely deafening as moments ago Curry made his way into the ring. As you look around the Will Rogers Coliseum in Fort Worth, Curry was a member of the 1980 Olympic team. Of course, he was never able to manifest that in Olympic competition because of the boycott. He's only 22 years old, and he has already held the World Championship for more than a year. He won it in Fort Worth on February 13th of 1983 and has made 2 successful title defenses against Roger Stafford and Marlon Starling. The introduction right now, and the din again for the champion as you look now at the challenger. Elio Diaz, ranked #1 by both the WBA and the WBC, comes from Venezuela. He has done most of his fighting there. He has fought in the United States 5 times, on each occasion in New Jersey. But he's taking a tremendous step up in class today. As you can see, the record is almost perfect. 31-0 with 29 knockouts, so he's been the distance only twice, but he has never met anybody with the qualities that Curry possesses, the boxing skills that Donald has. As you look at the tail of the tape, as you can see, both men are young. Diaz 21, Curry 22. They are each 5'11". Curry weighed in this morning at the welterweight limit, which is 147 pounds. Diaz came in this morning at 148 pounds, went out running, took a sauna, lost 2.5 pounds. When they reweighed him, he came in at 145.5. And a substantial reach advantage for Curry. Stanley Christodoulou from South Africa is the referee. He has no voice in the scoring. 10-point must system in effect. The 3 judges at ringside do the scoring. Guy Jutras of Canada, and then 2 Japanese judges, Takashi Shimakawa and Tadashi Kawata. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. 3 knockdowns in a round is the end of the fight. Mandatory 8 count is in effect. No standing 8, however, and no saving by the bell except in the 15th round. Scheduled for 15, and here we go as Curry defends for the 3rd time against Diaz, whose best chance, you might surmise, would be a quick finish. He has explosive punching power, and the longer it goes, the better Curry's chances figured to be. 20-foot ring here in Fort Worth. Curry with great foot and hand speed. Very good defensive skills. A nice right hand by Curry, and Diaz goes down automatically. Diaz takes the mandatory 8 count, gets up at the count of 2, and is already bouncing on the balls of his feet. But Curry has stunned Diaz, in contrast to what people thought might happen in the 1st round. They thought if Donald wasn't particularly careful, that Diaz would come out and perhaps gain a quick knockdown or even knockout win. However, it's Curry who knocks Diaz down very briefly here in the 1st round. Some question Curry's punching power up until his 1-round knockout over Roger Stafford on September 3rd of '83 in Sicily. Then they question his ability to fight inside, and he proved that rather well with his victory over Marlon Starling on the 4th of February in Atlantic City. Curry with his back to you against Elio Diaz. Both men unbeaten halfway through the 1st round. Curry with a good straight left. Crowd, of course, responds to everything Curry throws. Born, raised, still lives in Fort Worth, and he is the big favorite here. Diaz, none the worse for wear despite the knockdown. A flash knockdown here in the 1st round, but he got up very quickly. And is moving quite similarly to what we have seen in the past from him. left hand by Curry, but no damage there. Curry with a combination, but the right with Diaz backing up did not do any damage. Very little contact. Nearing the end now of the first round, a round in which Diaz went down. End of the first. Second round action. Donald Curry with a knockdown in the first round of Elio Diaz. By the way, Diaz has been down before in his career. In fact, he was down twice in one fight early in his career and came back to win. Curry has also been down. He was down the day he won the title from Yun Suk Wang of Korea right here in Fort Worth. And Diaz with a good right. Good, quick, short, straight right hand. As Diaz, who bounced up off the canvas after the quick knockdown, asserted himself toward the end of the first round and looked strong here in round two. Curry with a very good left jab, good foot speed, great movement, and as we said in the first round, excellent defensive skills. He does not make a stationary target or an easy target for an opponent to hit. But Diaz trying to penetrate the gloves, trying to work inside. Curry able to back him away. Curry with his back to you. Halfway through the second round, WBA championship at stake, scheduled for 15. Curry tried to get the left hook in over the right hand of Diaz. Diaz showing plenty of movement early on. With 29 of Diaz's 31 victories ending in knockouts, that tells you one thing: he's not used to going considerable distances. In fact, he's been only 10 rounds once. That was in his last fight, which was last October against Patricio Diaz. And the only other fight that did not end in a knockout was an 8-round decision. Final half minute of round two. Good early action in this one. Curry and Diaz. Diaz putting the pressure on. Curry covering up. And Diaz showing no effects whatsoever of that flash knockdown in round one. End of the second round at hand. Live, Fort Worth, Texas. Will Rogers Coliseum, round 3, WBA Welterweight Championship at stake. On the left, Donald Curry, the champion. Elio Diaz, who went down in the first round, is the challenger. Diaz from Venezuela, from the town of Carapito. Again, Diaz weighing in this morning at 148 a pound over the limit. Took off 2.5 pounds subsequent to that. Good left hand by Curry. Curry with very, very fast hands. In fact, I stressed Diaz's foot speed in the second round. One of the reasons could be that knockdown in round one. He's a little more wary of Curry than he may have been at the outset of this fight. In a good many of his prior fights, he has been a more straightforward type of power fighter, looking for that early knockout. And he's been able to bore straight in. Good right hand again by Curry. Curry may not have the greatest punching power, but very, very fast hands. And as he plants himself, of course, through the years more and more, he will develop. more power. A man who is just 22, keep in mind, and unbeaten. Another left hook by the champion, Curry. Minute and a half remaining here in the third round. Curry fighting in his hometown of Fort Worth. Diaz trying to take the title back to Venezuela. He's a national hero in his country. He was a member of the Venezuela 1980 Olympic team. Good left hand again by Curry. And another looping left hand by Donald Curry. Curry throwing the straight right, but Diaz trying to fight back. Diaz won't let himself get backed into the corner. Now he's trying to circle out, but Curry tries to keep him inside. I'd like to tell our stations along the line, at the end of this round, we will be taking a station break. Third round action. Curry had Diaz down in the first. Diaz getting up at the count of 2, but taking the mandatory 8. Under a half minute left now in the third round. Curry has been working the head for the better part of the first 3. 10 seconds remaining now in the third. And ABC's Wide World of Sports will be back with more of the WBA Welterweight Championship fight after this word from our local station. Fourth round now. Donald Curry, the champion, defending against Elio Diaz, #1 ranked contender by both the WBA and WBC. This fight for the WBA championship. Milton McCrory holds the WBC crown, and in fact defended it just last Sunday against Gilel Bilia in Detroit. Good left again by Curry. Curry with his back to you. of South Africa is the referee. He does not figure in the scoring. The 3 judges at ringside. 10-point must system. Another good, fast, quick left hand by Curry. Good early action in this one. As Curry with the right hand. I don't believe Christodoulou has had to break one clinch to this point. And the minute you say it, it happens. Halfway through round 4. Both men undefeated. Diaz on the left is the recipient of a right followed by a left hand from Curry. Curry extremely quick. Good hand speed, good foot speed. Had Diaz down in the first round. Making his 3rd title defense. Another left hand by Curry that was partially picked off. Diaz tries to counter, but almost everything he's thrown has been picked off by the gloves, and there's a good right hand that got in over the left by Curry. Diaz taking just about everything Curry's been throwing to this point. But in our card anyway, Donald is building up the early lead. 4th round scheduled for 15, live from Fort Worth, Texas. The WBA Welterweight Championship, Curry and Diaz. End of round 4. Start of the 5th round. This action taking place in the 4th. The right followed by the left hand by Donald Curry. As we start round 5 in Fort Worth, Curry defending against Elio Diaz. Curry with a right hand, and Diaz goes down belatedly. early for the second time. Again, it's a mandatory 8. The count is now 5, 6. He gets up at the count of 7. There's the mandatory 8 count, and Diaz again able to resume, but he's been down twice in this fight. Curry somewhat bothered by references to his supposed lack of punching power, even though he beat Roger Stafford handily, and I think he's answering most of the critics here today. Another right hand. Staggered Diaz, who's in major trouble right now. Diaz holding on. Again, a left followed by a right. A combination along the ropes. Diaz backed into the corner. Christodoulou separating them. Curry trying to finish him off here in round 5. Good right hand again by Curry. Diaz still showing some decent movement, but he's been down twice in the first 5 rounds of this fight. Halfway through round 5. 13 of Curry's 18 fights have ended in knockouts. Another good left hook by Curry. Another left. Diaz, who looked like he was ready to go down for good in the first minute of this round, has been able to recover to the point where he has staved off Curry for the moment. Curry with another left hand as the crowd chants for Curry. The hometown boy. Good walk-up sale at the Will Rogers Coliseum today. As we said, most of the pre-fight stories dealing with a supposed apathy toward Curry in his hometown. Another straight left hand by Curry. So Diaz absorbing a lot of punishment as Curry, in our estimation, builds up a good-sized lead. End of round 5 approaching. And that's the end of the 5th round, and a good 1/3 of the fight for Donald Curry. As you look at the crowd in the Will Rogers Coliseum in Fort Worth, Texas. Curry winning his title at the nearby Tarrant County Convention Center in February of '83. Of course, Curry had a brother, Bruce, who was the WBC super lightweight champion up until the end of January when he lost that crown to Bill Costello. They were the only brothers to ever hold boxing titles simultaneously. Another look now at the knockdown coming early in round 5. That was the belated effect of an earlier punch thrown by Donald Curry. He stayed down for the count of 7, took the mandatory 8 on his feet, and was able to weather the round. But he's been down twice in rounds 1 and round 5, and here we go in the 6th, scheduled for 15. If Curry wins this one, it appears he will next defend against Nino LaRocca in Monaco in June. Diaz trying to work his way through Curry's defense. Of course, any welterweight, in particular people like Curry and McCrory, are anticipating and are hopeful of a future bout with Sugar Ray Leonard, who will begin his comeback on the 11th of May against Kevin Howard in Worcester, Massachusetts. Another good left hand caught Diaz, who was backing away. Leonard coming back, beginning his comeback on the 11th of May. Speculation then has Leonard taking one more tune-up. And then it could be McCrory, it could be Curry, it could even be Hagler at that point. He may go straight for Marvin. Hard to say. he does, of course, he'll move up in class, even though Ray had stated that one of his first goals, one of his aims would be to regain his welterweight championship. Another left hand by Curry. Diaz active and throwing a substantial number of punches, but just about everything has been picked off by Curry. But Diaz trying to make a fight out of it. Curry throwing almost everything upstairs at the head. Good right hand got in again. .25 seconds remaining now in the 6th round.
You gotta put them together. Don't look for one. Put them together. Put them together. Don't look for one.
Looking good. We're back in Fort Worth, the 7th round, scheduled for 15. On the right, Donald Curry. He's the WBA welterweight champion, unbeaten, and Elio Diaz, the opponent. #1 ranked contender. This is a mandatory title defense. Diaz from Venezuela has absorbed a good deal of punishment. He's been down twice, as we said before, with 29 of his 31 wins coming via the knockout route. He's not used to going the distance. In fact, he's been 10 rounds only once. It's been a very fast-paced fight, dictated for the most part by Curry. And most people felt that Diaz's best chance for a victory would be an early knockout. Instead, he is the man who's been to the canvas twice. And Curry is the fresher of the pair, no doubt at this point. Also, again, as Diaz absorbs a left hand, he weighed in a pound over the limit and then came in 1.5 under the limit a couple of hours later, which tells you he took off 2.5 pounds this morning. Holding on as they are separated, and Diaz is warned by the referee Stanley Christodoulou as we're halfway through the 7th round. Puffiness now over the right eye of Diaz. The right eye, in fact, begins to close here in the 7th round. Curry walking in, dictating the pace. Diaz trying to counter, but everything he throws is picked off by Curry. We're in the 7th round. Diaz still throwing a lot of punches, but Curry is landing all of the significant blows. The gloves of Curry picking off everything, and then he comes in with that flashing right hand in the corner as we're near the end of the 7th, and another left hook, and the accumulation of punches thrown by Curry doing a lot of damage. As you can see, the swelling near the right eye of Diaz, who takes another right followed by a left, and he's in trouble again, and he's down for the 3rd time. There's no saving by the bell in this round, so he has to get up. Count is 5. The count is now 6. He's up at 7. The bell will sound, and there it is. So that is the end of the 7th round, but Diaz has been down 3 times in this fight. Well, if this town is apathetic about their champion, Donald Curry, you would never know it from the vibration inside this building as the Will Rogers Coliseum is rocking the work on the right eye of Elio Diaz. Again, Curry with a right hand, followed by the left to back Diaz up. And down he goes in the corner in the waning seconds of the 7th round. So Donald Curry with a very impressive performance. Diaz has been game. He just can't get anything through the defense of Donald Curry, and Curry has been able to penetrate Diaz from start to finish.
Now, just don't trade with him, just like you're working. It's beautiful, perfect.
Well, that sums it up, does it not, from his manager, Dave Gorman. It's a different story in Diaz's corner.
Vamos.
And referee Stanley Christodoulou is there as they check out Diaz, who may not be getting up for round 8. 30 seconds should be out of the ring, and Christodoulou is questioning the challenger, and that's it. He's not coming out. He's not going to come out for the 8th round. Donald Curry defending his WBA title. Diaz does not come out for the 8th round. So the fellow they call the Cobra here in Fort Worth has the Will Rogers Coliseum rocking as Donald Curry with a very impressive performance